winning the WSL title this season has been great, but just the fact we have been unbeaten is the cherry on the top of the cake. So
yes,
and I improved my English.
Hello and welcome to We Are Chelsea, the official podcast of Chelsea Women, brought to you in association with Skoda, who are the official car partner for Chelsea Women, and they are proud supporters of women's sport. I'm Caz De Moraes, and today I'm delighted to be joined by head coach Sonia Bompastor. Fresh off the back of the FA Cup final, she is joining me to look back on some of the highlights of Chelsea's treble-winning season. This is We Are Chelsea with Sonia Bompastor. Well, Sonia, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. How are you? Fresh off the treble. Just won the FA Cup. I mean, you must be feeling great.
Yeah. I feel great. We feel great. I think everyone in the club. What a season. What a season. I think, if we have said that when I first joined the podcast earlier in the season, I would probably will be thinking, really? But we did it. So, really happy, really pleased, fatigued and not that fresh, but really pleased with all the hard work we have put together.
I do want to go back to when you first were on the pod and we were talking, and what were your expectations back then? Because you said, I would not have believed this. I mean, unbeaten, 3 trophies, because it was big shoes to fill at the start, right?
Yeah, I have to say, big shoes to fill at the start for sure. I was coming and joining the club with a lot of ambitions, and I think I said that from the beginning. I could feel the ambitions from the club, and my ambitions were matching. Difficult to believe we were going to have a season unbeaten, because I also knew we were coming in a league where we have a lot of really good teams with a lot of really talented squads. And I know also this league is really competitive. So, I would have accepted the fact like we were dominant in England, but probably I was not thinking being able to achieve that with being unbeaten.
And at what point when you were unbeaten, did the pressure start to mount? Because you were like, well, we can't lose now. We can't lose now.
To be honest, I think I started to think about the fact we could stay unbeaten in league after the Man United away game when we won 1-0 there. I think some journalists before were mentioning that already, but I was not having that in my mind. I was really focused on the fact like we wanted to achieve the WSL title, and we knew we still had the FA Cup final to play for. But after that game, I started to feel like, maybe it's possible, because we only have 2 games left, and we are in a really good dynamic. And now it has to be a goal for us, because winning the WSL title this season has been great, but just the fact we have been unbeaten is the cherry on the top of the cake. So
yes,
and I improved my English, by the way. So really, really nice to have these feelings and all this joy, with the season we had.
I remember at the start of the season, you said to me, when I'm in the kitchen with my kids and I'm making food, I let them just make a mess. They need to try, and it's something similar that you said around the players. I would rather they lose 100 balls than they manage to keep 2.
Yeah.
And a lot of the players said that. She just wants us to try. She wants us to just be experimental, just go out there, be courageous, be brave. Do you think that was the beginning of the kind of key moment? So I want to ask you, how did you do it? Which is obviously really difficult.
To achieve that, I think, first of all, I want to thank my players for sure, because they are the ones who are on the pitch. I just think they have the talent enough to achieve that. And I think we have depth in the squad. So the season has been a really long season, but because we had that depth in the squad, we were able to rotate and to keep freshness into the legs and into the mental for the players to be ready to perform in every game and in every big game. So I think it's really important, first of all, to mention that and to give a lot of credit to the players, but also to all my staff. I think most of people work behind the scenes really hard, and I think you can only achieve that great things when everyone is on the same page, going in the same direction with the same vision. So I think it's a team performance. But also, my job is to make sure I bring the support to my players. They feel, when they go on the pitch, they feel the confidence coming from the manager. And I think that's what I'm trying to do anytime in the season. It's sometimes not easy because, I have to make some decisions. So sometimes players are starting games, sometimes not. And this is where you need to make sure, like, even when the players are not starting, they keep the confidence on yourself. That's a challenge, but that's part of my job, to make them comfortable and confident going into every game.
Yeah, that's a big challenge. I think that's probably one of the most challenging aspects of the coach's role, because there's also so many different personalities. So the way that you would coach one is probably different to how you'd coach another. And we saw that with Nat, who was not getting so much game time, and then she kept the confidence, she kept it going, and has had a phenomenal season. How do you navigate the different kind of personalities and keep that going? Because it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, it's difficult, I am the manager, but I am also a human. And sometimes it's difficult to manage the feelings, because I am the one who is telling my players, oh, you are not starting a game. And sometimes I feel bad for that, because I know they are sad. That's about the feelings, but also I am the manager and I can't show them I'm vulnerable, because that's my job and my responsibility to make that call, that decisions. And I think, that's just like for them to understand, like, part of my job is making that decisions, but I'm always behind them, supporting them. And also, as you mentioned, like Nat Bjorn, she had a fantastic season. She played so many games after the beginning of the season. And I think, in the beginning was not easy, because as you just mentioned, she wanted to play more minutes. She was not playing that minutes. And I think, she kept her confidence, which is really important in that moment. And when she had that opportunity, she just took the opportunity to perform, to get back in the team. And after with her performances, she just stayed in the team for the rest of the season. And in our environment, that's what happened. We need to have a competitive environment, and sometimes you have to be patient. You need to keep your trust, your confidence, to make sure, like, when the opportunity comes, you just take it.
Yeah, it's a mental game. But I also want to ask, on the good point, what were the celebrations like? Because the treble it's a big one. And unbeaten. What were the celebrations like? What were the emotions in the dressing room like?
I think it was a bit difficult, because after winning the WSL title, we couldn't really party, because we knew we still had one game to go with the FA Cup final. So we had great moments with friends and family. What was nice was the fact we knew we were going to be champions in the last game. So we were going to celebrate with the trophy at Stamford Bridge with the fans, with friends and family being there. And I think it was really great to have everyone around and to be able to celebrate that, especially with your final game being at home, again, with your fans in the stadium. So I think it was really nice. The club was really good, because they organized a really good party. And we just enjoyed without going crazy, because we knew we still had one game. But after the last game in the FA Cup final, I think, it was the perfect moment for us to celebrate all together again. And I think it was the right timing for us to celebrate and to go more crazy, if I could say.
And your children were in the dressing room after at Stamford Bridge, right?
Yeah.
What was it like for them? Yeah,
it's nice, because sometimes as a mom, it's also difficult to get the right balance. And this season has been a challenge for them as well, moving as a family. Even if I said from the beginning, I think in the club, everyone helped us to settle in well, as quick as we could. And I think it was a really nice thing, because if you want to give your best, you have to have your family on board with you. And I think just the fact the club helped us to settle in well was really nice. But it's still a big challenge for them with the Bayer language, coming into a new country, a new way to live, because, we are living in a city, really big city, where in France we were living in the countryside. So it's so much, a big transition, so much change for them. They still are arguing sometimes because we had a really good big garden in France. And here in London is a small garden. So Gabin sometimes wants to kick some balls and we have to go to the park to do that. So sometimes we still have some challenges, but it's nice. And I think we all enjoy being here and living in London.
I love the kids' challenges. We've got to go to the park to kick the ball around.
When you just want to sit in your sofa and watch TV.
How crazy did the players go when they finally celebrated? And do you think that they really let loose in front of you?
Yeah, I think, after the game on Sunday, they just let them go. And I think they really celebrate. I think that's important also for us to have that moments together, create memories. Because as I already mentioned, I think we spend so many time together. And I think that's okay for us also in that moments to just be ourselves and to celebrate as much as we can. It was a really nice moment all together. And I think we really enjoyed that.
I loved seeing you with the third goal. You basically roared. You were like, roar! You roared and celebrated. How did it feel in that moment when that goal went in?
Yeah, no, it's nice because when you are winning the game only 1-0, you know everything can happen and you can't really breathe. When we scored the second goal, I felt like we were in a really good position and I felt comfortable to start to think we were going to win that trophy. And the third goal was just like, the relief, or not the relief, but the fact like you could relax everything and just celebrate and enjoy. Because most of the time as a manager, from the beginning of the game until the end, you are just so focused on the game plan and how you can help and support your players on the pitch. So when the result is 3-0 up and with 10 minutes to go, I think you can start to relax a little bit and enjoy all the atmosphere and the celebrations.
On the flags, on the FA Cup final, it said the words unrivalled. What do you think that word means to you?
Yeah, I think just for us to realize we had a really great season. We have been dominant domestically in England. It's a really nice feeling. I think just the fact we have been unbeaten is just incredible.
Yeah.
So, I think now we have this new statute. We are part of history because it never happened before. And I think being part of history is something always nice because people will remember that moment and this season forever. So I think it's a really nice feeling, but now we need to go with this statute for next season.
That's the problem that you've created, Sonia.
Exactly.
You've come in strong. You've done amazingly well. Yeah, Is there a little bit of fear that you're like, oh, I did a bit too good here?
Not a fear, but now you need to sustain that statute and going into the next season, we'll have to maintain that high standard, high level. And I think these high expectations, we want to maintain them as much as possible. It will be difficult, but now we want to make sure for next season we stay dominant in England, but we always want to make sure we are able to compete against the best in Europe.
Now, this is a question that obviously I'm going to have to ask, but people ask it all the time. It's going to be a hard one. Can you pick one moment that you really, truly loved this season? And it can be off the pitch or in training. It can also be behind the scenes.
No, I think it's difficult to only have one moment because we lived so many good moments in the season, on the pitch, outside the pitch, so really difficult. But if I have to try to pick one, I would say, just the fact we had the chance to finish our season at Wembley in a FA Cup final where I think most of the teams want to be in that final. And I think in terms of history, being able to play a final in that stadium, which is a stadium where everyone knows around the world. Just being part of that event, being able to win 3-0 a final against Man United, who is a strong opponent, I think it was probably the best and the ideal way to end the season. And I think it could have been more perfect than that.
How do you describe that Wembley atmosphere for those who have never experienced it?
Again, I think it's difficult to put some words to really describe your emotions and your feelings, but wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And I think we as a women game, we have to really enjoy that moment, because being part of that final in front of almost 70,000 people in the stadium, it's something different. It's something I never experienced before as a player and as a manager. So, really nice to be part of that final in that stadium. And I want to make sure we keep that for the future in the women's game, because that's really, really special.
And we saw there that there's new investment into the club with Alexis Ohanian. I mean, is that exciting for you? Does it feel like a new era for the club? How does it feel knowing that someone so significant is investing so much?
Oh, it means a lot for us. I think we already felt like we were in a club where we could feel the support coming from the ownerships. Okay. But again, to have a new member of board coming, joining and investing in the women's team, such as Alexi, I think it's incredible. It just, again, shows the ambition the club have and the high standards the club have. So as a woman manager or player, I think Chelsea is the right place to be at the moment. I think having this great support coming from Alexi, I think, we feel we are going even to go further in our ambitions. And again, we want to make sure we compete in Europe against the best teams. So we feel pretty lucky to be in that position and to have these people who wants to invest in the women's team in Chelsea. But also, we want to make sure for the future we do our best to be the best team in the world.
I saw you introducing your children to Serena Williams and him when they were there. What did she say to them? How did your children react?
She just spoke a little bit French to them because, she played in Roland Garros, so many tournaments in Paris. So she has a pretty good French.
Does she?
Yeah. So it was nice.
I didn't know that.
So she's pretty good speaking French. And I think the kids were so happy to listen someone speaking French to them. And my oldest, daughter was talking about the fact she wanted to know more about Serena Williams. Was she really a famous person in the world? And I was, I will explain later to you, but she's really famous. She's a great athlete and a great person. So it was nice. Just some few nice words with them. And after we went home and I showed them who was Serena Williams, and they were, whoa, okay, we know more now. But really nice moments. And, we spoke a lot about being professionals, players, manager, but also these moments as humans are something really great to share. So it was really nice.
This podcast is brought to you by Skoda, the official car partner of Chelsea Women and proud supporters of women's sport. It's football season, time for after-work training, muddy boots and early morning weekend games. Whether you're playing five-a-side after work, cheering the kids on from the sidelines on a Saturday morning, or gathering with your mates to watch the big leagues each weekend, Skoda's the perfect companion for your everyday adventures. Zip around town in the fully electric Enyaq, or give the squad a lift home in the all-new 7-seater Kodiaq. There's something in the range to suit teams of all shapes and sizes. Don't just take my word for it, though. Search the Skoda range today to jump in and see for yourself. Now, I hate to do this, but I'm going to talk about next season because it's the way that football is. And the only medal that is missing here is the Champions League medal. Is that something that you are just going to beeline for next season?
Yeah, we want to compete in every competition. And I said that.
I can see that. Yeah, I've asked you a question and you've gone, I'm stressed now.
No,
I don't want to put pressure on you, but it's just as a fan.
Yeah, no, I think it's okay for me to have the pressure because I really enjoy that. I think it makes me better because the pressure just makes me wanted to do my best and working really hard to make sure I achieve the the goals and the ambitions the club have. So I think that's okay. That's part of the job. But again, like, we want to make sure in the future we are in a good place to compete for the Champions League. I think that's the only trophy who is missing at the club. We were already disappointed because this season, I think the 2 games we played against Barcelona were not the games we wanted to have against them. So big frustration, but in the same time, we want to make sure going into the future, we just fix what we were missing in that 2 games. To make sure we are in a better place to compete. But again, I think it's also important for us to stay dominant in England. So I think I can't say like the Champions League is more important than the other 3 trophies. I think all of them are really important. So I want to make sure next season we will stay dominant in the league in England, but also we'll be probably in a better place to compete for Europe.
Do you think that having this new investment might bridge that gap with Europe a little bit more?
I hope so. So, because I think with this investment, we will be in a place where we can now continue to think about what we can improve as a club. And I think it goes to, maybe thinking about what we can improve in the squad, maybe in the infrastructures, maybe in our environment day by day, in the staff. And I think we need to make sure we just bring the right people for the players to feel the support, because every day we are asking them to perform at the highest level, and we just want to make sure we bring them what they need to be able to be in that position.
So now that the season is coming to an end, what does your summer look like? How do you wind down and switch off and relax? Although, can you with all your children as well?
Yeah, I think it will be different. Just the fact you will have maybe 2 months without games in the weekend. I think it will be good for me just not to feel the pressure on the results. It will be good also to be around my kids on the weekend, because for them sometimes it's difficult, where most of the parents are spending time with them on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'm at the games. So sometimes they can come and enjoy, but not always. So I think it will just be good to be around them on the weekend. I think also, I will be working, sometimes from home, sometimes coming here. I will be going and watching the Euro this summer.
I was going to ask.
Really important tournament with a lot of players, Chelsea players involved in that tournament. So, I will have some time also back in France, going back to my house in Lyon, which will be really nice for me also and my family. So, pretty long break, even if, it's not like a 2-month break. We still are working, but in a different way, which is nice because you can relax a little bit more.
How much of London have you and your family really managed to explore?
A lot, actually.
Yeah,
a lot. Because I think, during the international break, we'll have the opportunity to spend some weekends with the kids and during the week. And I think, I want to make sure I enjoy London because it's such a nice city to live in. And we went to some theaters to see some musical comedies. We went to see the Lion King.
Good one.
Shrek also, with the
brilliant.
kids. I remember Shrek because it was in the beginning when we first came, and it was so annoying for me because the kids couldn't understand what they were saying, and every 2 minutes they were asking, what did she say? What did he say? And so I was like, okay, maybe before we go to Lion King, we'll wait for them to understand a little bit more. But really nice. We went for some museums in London, which is really nice. And also we love to bike in the city. So we bike a lot with the kids. And
oh my God, I would love to see that. What, are you all on bikes, or do you have one bike with like a trailer and they're all in it?
No, they are really good. We only have the youngest one with me.
Okay.
And all the 3 of our children are on bike, and they are pretty good on doing that. So we have a big line on the street, on the road. But we are pretty good on the respecting all the signs and everything. But it's really nice,
Well, big tick for a French person saying that she loves London.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's a really nice city to live in. Yeah, really.
I love it. Yeah. And at the moment, the weather has been great.
Weather has been fantastic. Like, I have to be honest, coming here, maybe my 2 fears were a little bit the food, But
Okay.
actually
We'll come to
now
that.
I can say I can find pretty much what I want, even if I'm still missing 2 or 3 different things. But yeah.
What are
because
the things that
to
you're
be
missing?
fair, cheese.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and la baguette, a real French baguette. And I
okay.
don't drink any alcohol, so I'm not missing
Okay.
wine.
Okay.
But yeah, cheese and baguette, yeah, maybe.
Cheese and baguette.
A good croissant or pain au chocolat.
Maybe you could do a review. Maybe you could go to a few cafes
Yeah.
and French boulangeries, and then you
Yeah.
pick some croissants and you can give us a 6 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Sonia's
but,
picks.
No, to be fair, the food is being great. And the weather, yeah, I was expecting maybe in London every day to rain, and it's not the case. So I think people make it worse when actually it's not the case. The weather has been fantastic, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I think we just sometimes love a little moan.
Yeah,
We just want to
probably.
moan, and then
But,
we just like to talk about the weather. So it's easy to normally just go, wow.
but I think it's the same everywhere. We are the same in
Because if it's
France,
too
yeah.
hot, we go, it's too hot.
To be fair, like in the staff, we have kind of a battle because, yeah, when it's like 15 degrees, all my English staff turn the air conditioning on.
Oh.
And I'm like, it's freezing, please turn it off. But yeah, so we have a bit of a competition with that in the building sometimes.
I love that. The aircon on. Guys, this is
Guys,
not summer.
Yeah, it's
Stop.
cold.
What's your favorite thing that you've learnt about British culture?
I would say maybe living in London, the diversity in the city and the fact like people are really open-minded. You can see all these different people in the morning, sometimes walking on the street with their PJ on. That's fine.
Yeah.
No one is like,
We don't care.
even paying attention to that. So I really love that relaxing mentality and the fact like you can be yourself. No one is going to judge you. So it's really nice for me. And also it's really nice to show that to my children. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because the French are known for being really chic and always being like looking good, prim and proper.
Yeah.
So the thing you like most is that the English are like, I'm in my pajamas and I don't care. I'm
Yeah,
going down
that's
Tesco's
fine.
in my PJs and I don't care, love.
Yeah,
We're probably,
exactly.
most of us are probably mums.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't slept, so we've just walked out.
Yeah, exactly, which is nice. Which is nice.
Are there any new British phrases that you find yourself saying?
So I didn't know why people sometimes were using these words, but yeah, I really, now I'm starting to use them as well. It's bless you. When you have a situation where, you feel a bit... sad, or when someone makes you feel sad, you're like, oh, bless you. And I felt this one is one I didn't know before I joined, and now I'm almost saying these words every week, every day, almost.
We're unbeaten and won 3. Bless you.
Yeah, no, I won't say that. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
And my final question, what does planning the season ahead look like and involve? It's slightly different to your day-to-day when the season kicks off, but what will it look like?
Yeah, this week we still have some training sessions with some players, preparing them going into the Euro. And I'm also meeting all my players individually because I think it's important for them to have this time with me to reflect
Like an
on
end-of-year review.
Yeah, exactly. That's really important, individually for all of them to be able to give me some feedback on the season, on the pitch, outside the pitch, from all the point of view. And I think, I want to show them it's okay for me to be really open-minded, and I want to make sure like they understand we want to improve going into the next season. Yeah. So it's really important for them to give this feedback to us.
Just a curiosity, when you do the reviews with the players, can you tell if they're nervous or not? Because I imagine it's like when they're going to meet the head teacher.
Yeah, exactly. No, you can feel some of them are coming and they are a little bit nervous, but I just want them to understand from the beginning of the meeting, it's relaxed. I want them to feel like, first of all, because we had a great season, so it's so much easier to do a review when you won 3 trophies, but also because, most of them did well. So I think it's really positive, and I want to make sure, because also we are at the end of the season, everyone is like fatigued and tired coming after this season. So for me, it's more a positive feedback and just making sure they understand where we want to go for next season. And just basically to tell them to enjoy their break for the ones who will have a break.
Sonia, thank you so much for giving me so much time. Thank you for this season. What a season you have given us. As a fan, we are just like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Félicitations. Congratulations.
Well
merci. And we'll see you next year.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I really enjoyed being part of Chelsea. And again, this season has been incredible. So hopefully next year will be even better. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this season of We Are Chelsea, the official podcast of Chelsea Women, brought to you in association with Skoda, who are the official car partner for Chelsea Women, and they are proud supporters of women's sport. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube and subscribe to the channel to make sure you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.